All right, folks, welcome to another White House press briefing with the press secretary. Today, there's a lot of issues at hand, so we're going to have a very good White House press briefing today. It should start very soon, but we're going to be switching over to the White House, turning on the hot mic in just a few moments. So make sure you guys please click the thumbs up button and also share this live stream on social media. That's all we ask for, folks. All we ask is if you can please share the live stream on Facebook or Twitter or Gab or Reddit or Parler or whatever other social media there are out there. If you guys can share the stream, that'll be great. If you share the stream on Twitter, we'll give you guys a shout out as a thank you for your support. It's the easiest place for us to find patriots who are sharing the stream, because all we have to do is type the word White House press briefing live on search in Twitter, and your tweet will come up. That's how we find out who is sharing the stream, so we can give shout outs, just in case you wanted to know. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times. We'll keep you up to date on everything that is going on in politics from the very beginning to the very end. So stay tuned on our Twitter at Gold State Times. All right, folks, so we'll be switching over to the White House in just a few moments. Once again, don't forget to click the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and share the stream. Thank you so much, folks. All right, folks, so we're sending out notifications through text message right now. So if you are already here, you might receive a text message. Thank you so much for being awesome, being here nice and early. But if you guys can just forward that text message to somebody else, anyone that would listen, friend, family member, that would be great. Also, let us know in the chat, did you get notified by YouTube or by text message? We want to make sure that patriots are getting notified every single time that we go live. That way you guys stay up to date on everything that is going on. Especially right now, there's so much misinformation. There's so much fake news going on in the mainstream media that is becoming very difficult to follow the truth to wherever it's leading. But we're doing our best here to cover everything for you guys, not only here on YouTube, but on our website. If you are sick and tired of Drudge and the way that it's going on that website, it's just crazy nowadays. You go to Drudge and all you see is Trump is bad, Trump is doing this illegally, Trump is lying, Trump is, it's just crazy what's going on on Drudge. So if you've been looking for an alternative, check out our website, goldenstatetimes.com. All right, folks, we would like to welcome a new member. We have Jose Rodriguez. Thank you so much, Jose, for your support, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Now, every single time that you type in the chat or in the comment section of our videos, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press. Make sure and check out our custom emojis, Jose. They're awesome. We're going to be uploading a bunch of new ones in the near future, and we're going to be updating, making the current ones that we have a lot better than they are now, so they can look a lot better in the chat. I know right now they're awesome, but we want to make them even better. So thank you so much once again, Jose Rodriguez, for your support through membership. And I hope that you guys check it out, memberships. It helps us live stream here on YouTube. But the best way to help out Golden State Times is sharing the live stream, letting Patriots know about us, and tuning in here at Golden State Times. All right, Patriots, thank you so much for the feedback regarding how you got notified about this live stream. A lot of Patriots got notified by YouTube. That's good. That's always a good thing. And a lot of other Patriots got notified by text message. We want to make sure that that text messaging service is efficient here on the channel. We want to keep you guys up to date on everything that's going on. But in order to do that, you guys need to get notified and know that stuff is happening. So that's why the text message notifications are very important. If you are not signed up to our text message notification list, all you have to do to get signed up is send me a text message with the word Trump Live to the number 555-888 and you join the club. It's 100% free from us here at Golden State Times. It's a service that we do because we need to make sure that you are updated and notified whenever there is breaking news, live streams, or anything else like that. President Trump rallies are coming up very, very soon. Most likely there's a rally at the beginning of July or maybe even at the end of November. Who knows? Right now, all we know is that there is a Trump rally in the works, but we just do not know on the date or location of where it's going to happen. Most likely, to be honest with you, the rally most likely it's going to happen in Florida or in Texas, one of the two. But who knows? We might be, surprised and it's going to happen somewhere else. But right now we are betting on Texas or we're betting on Florida. But let us know in the chat. Where do you think the first Trump rally location is going to be? What state is it going to be held in? And also, let us know, what do you think is going to be the number of attendance to that rally? I'm thinking it's going to be one of the biggest ones. It will beat any of 2016. And 2016 was great. There's 40,000. There's a 50,000 rally in 50,000 people rally in 2016. But I think it's going to beat that by a long shot. And I'm talking about full. So let us know. What do you guys think? What number is how many Patriots are going to turn out to that first rally? Wherever it happens. We don't know where the location is yet. Let us know in the chat. All right, so yeah, a lot of Patriots are agreeing. I think Florida too. I think Florida is going to be the first location of the first rally, the first comeback rally. And the attendance, I think it's going to be between 50 to maybe 70,000, between there. I think that's what it's going to be. Obviously, the inside of it is going to be way less than outside. Most of the rally, unless President Trump doesn't add a airport hangar, then yeah, he's going to be able to put more Patriots in there. But when it comes to locations, most likely there won't be that many people inside because of the whole COVID thing going on still. But we're just going to have to see what the outflow, the outside of the arena, how that is going to look. It's going to be very interesting to see. And I believe too that it's going to be in Florida. We'll be switching over to the White House in just a few moments. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button and share the live stream on social media. I'll be back on the microphone to give shout outs to everyone that is sharing the stream on Twitter. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times. We'll keep you updated on everything that is going on in politics. If you've been looking for an alternative to the Drudge Report, I know it's getting pretty crazy, folks. I seen it myself. I used to be one of the people that used to open up Drudge before anything else every single morning. But now it's starting to just go crazy. Drudge has gone loco, like President Trump says. He seriously has. It's just crazy what's going on at the Drudge Report right now. So if you are looking for an alternative, we got something here for you. Just go to goldenstatetimes.com, www.goldenstatetimes.com, and check it out, bookmark it, and tune in. Every morning we have all the breaking news and news updates for you on there, including videos too, which I know that Drudge doesn't do much. Neither do the other guys that do similar things like Drudge. I don't notice that they have a lot of video in their website. And video is what we are all about. So there's tons of videos on there. There's links to different news articles. Just check it out, goldenstatetimes.com.
And I always give them. But I've got Jimmy Fox and Lou Gehrig probably.
All right, folks, so this is live footage from the White House. This is live footage from the White House. We're going to be checking to see if the hot mic is on. We're going to be checking if the hot mic is on. So I'll be back on the microphone in just a few moments to give you guys an update and also to give shout outs to everyone that is sharing the live stream on social media. If you share it on Twitter. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times. It looks like the TVs are out, so most likely there's going to be slides or some type of video going on. So stay tuned live here at Golden State Times for full coverage of the White House press briefing with Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany. Also, don't forget to click the thumbs up button, folks. It helps us out a lot. And say hello in the chat. Don't be shy. And also, make sure to give a shout out to the city or the state that you're tuning in from. If you're somewhere around the world, give a shout out to your country. So give a shout out in the chat, folks. Sound off in the chat. All right, folks, shout out time. Thank you so much to Donnie Max for sharing the stream. We also have Celine. Thank you so much, Celine, for sharing the stream. Let's see here. We have Donnie Max, Celine. Q Lisa 77. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also have here Living in America. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. And Jeff W. Thank you so much, Jeff, for sharing the stream. We also have Fabunaki, I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Rita 51, thank you so much for sharing the stream. And we also have Disco Dictator sharing the stream. American Girl 3 and Box of Frogs, thank you so much for sharing the live stream on social media. We also have Tim and Deplorable Trump Lovers sharing the stream. Rebel Brand, Patrick Stalley, and let's see here, Box of Frogs, thank you so much for sharing the live stream on social media. We also have Captain, Lisa Jensen, and we have Mug Hug Cozy, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Sundanix, Adorable Oh Deplorable, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Carmen, thank you so much, Carmen. We also have Dog Mom 3 and Crypto Nomad, thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also have Linda, the English Patriot, and Kathy Dalton Little. Thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. We'll be checking in just a few moments to see if the hot mic is on, so just give us a few moments here. Thank you so much for choosing Golden State Times as your stream of choice. And we'd like to give a big thank you to Richard Gilbert for sharing the stream, Ram, George Wilkin. Thanks so much, George Wilkin, for your support sharing the stream. And we also like to give a big thank you to Bonnie Daly for sharing the stream, Bob Rujewitz, Pirate GFX, Mike the Spike, and Rexer P. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. We also have Sharon Z, Lovey Kilgore, and Seamus sharing the stream. We also have Serene, Firefly, Diana, Jack Sensors Conservatives, Clyde Castro Q, and Dakota Gary. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream, Patriots. You guys are amazing. Elizabeth Wesley, Gloria Schaefer Cruz, Cynthia Clan, Strange Skies, and Bless You All. Thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. We also like to give a big thank you to Simple Life Prepper. We have Debbie Berry sharing the stream. Colin Brown, thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. Teresa Mulligan, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Mimi White, thank you so much for sharing the stream. And Steven, thank you so much, Steven, for sharing the stream. We have Christine C. I Glorify Yeshua, Christian Patriot, and Roger Harrison, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Patricia Mauser, BJ Drwinski, Stand With the Beer, Yukigal, thank you so much for sharing the stream. H. Meehan, thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also have Cindy, thank you so much, Cindy, for sharing the stream. Catherine Denise Judson and Sparky1833, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Alright, so we're going to check on the hot mic real quick, and then we'll be back on the microphone to give more shout outs to everyone that is sharing the stream on social media. All right, folks, so the hot mic is now on. The hot mic is on.
Both of them? Okay, thanks. Keep that in mind. What else? What else is going on? Just Delaware, I know. Don't go with how no. Yep, the logo of the White House. Yeah. Okay, you're here? Okay, you're welcome. They're taking you live. Sorry. Okay, thanks.
Jonathan, you know we rotate, we walk around.
Yeah, it's fair, you know.
And you only get one question. Yours is the fourth question. If you're in the center. Right? Fourth, right? Yeah.
Alright folks, we'd like to give a big shout out to Daily Cosmic News for sharing the stream on social media. Also, Dirty Martini, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Annette Walls, thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also have Hell's Doll, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Christy Lee, Donald Trump is winning big league. Disco Dictator, American Girl 3, and Deplorable Trump Lover, thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also have Gemini 17, Audrey, and Uncle Nigel. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. JD, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Also FX999999, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Patriot Gale, It's Trump Time, and also George Wilkin, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Stone Entertainment Group, thanks so much for sharing the stream. First, and Elizabeth Wesley, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Bo H, Box of Frogs, and Michelle Battistone, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Justice and Mimi White, thanks so much for sharing the stream. We also like to give a big shout out to new followers that we have on Twitter. We're going to be starting off with Ghost, Brother John, Isaiah Hockey, Dennis, Uncle Nigel, Larry King Sr., and Masa Hakari. Thanks so much for following us on Twitter at Gold State Times. If you share the live stream on Twitter, we'll give you guys a shout out as a thank you for your support. And also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times.
Let me know if I can help. I'll call them and find out.
All right, folks. So the president put out a very, very good tweet earlier today. He posted it around 3 hours ago. So early in the morning. He said, incredible. Fox News just took congressional hearing off the air just prior to important witness statements. Fox News is more like CNN. Fox is lost. It's very, very true. Those words are very true. And this is probably already the 7th tweet that he has put out regarding Fox News being extremely fake news. Just remember, every single time that you turn on Fox News to watch anybody on Fox, you are paying for Donna Brazil's paycheck. You are helping Donna Brazil get more rich than she already is. Her contract with Fox News is in the millions of dollars, folks. And every single time any patriot tunes in to Fox News, they are paying Donna Brazil's paycheck. Also, don't forget who else is on the board of Fox News. All right, so John Toland in the chat got it right. Paul Ryan is also on the board of Fox News. Trump hater to the very, very end, to the bitter end. Trump hater, Paul Ryan, Donna Brazil. Someone is pointing it out that it is not Brazil, is Brazil. So Donna Brazil and also Paul Ryan. So every single time that you turn on Fox News, for whatever reason, it doesn't really matter, folks. If there were good people at Fox News, they would leave Fox News and they would go for other news stations like Newsmax or One America News Network. Right? If they're on the side of the patriots, why don't they quit Fox News? So Fox News can finally get it that they are screwing up big time, because even the president of the United States is saying that they are no different than CNN. If Tucker Carlson really was with the patriots, then quit Fox News. Go to OAN. Start your own stuff on TV. Start your own network on TV. You know, these people have the ability. Sean Hannity has the ability. Tucker Carlson has the ability. They have a ton of money. So if they were really with the patriots, then they should quit Fox News and start their own thing, or go to OAN or go to Newsmax or any of those other guys. But I'm actually happy that the president is starting to actually notice what's going on when it comes to the fake news on TV. Just note that here on the interwebs, especially here on YouTube, you can rely on Golden State Times to bring you full coverage of everything that is going on in politics. Everything is moving over to the web, and including the news. So TV only has a couple more years, probably maybe 5-10 more years of life. It's going to turn out just like news on the radio. That's how it was before. Then it's TV, and now it's the internet. And we are here to make sure that you stay up to date on everything that is going on in politics. Everything, folks. And also we cover it on our Twitter at Gold State Times and on our website, goldenstatetimes.com. Because just like Fox News, the Drudge Report is also going loco, going crazy like President Trump says. Drudge, Fox, all these people are going nuts. And patriots need to find a place where they can actually get their breaking news, get their news headlines, video, live streams, everything. So we want to make sure that you guys are covered. So on our website, goldenstatetimes.com, we cover breaking news, videos, news articles, headlines, all that stuff. So you won't have to rely on Drudge. And here on YouTube, we cover President Trump rallies, we cover press briefings, we cover press conferences, Trump speeches, everything, congressional hearings, everything that is going on throughout the day. We cover it here at Golden State Times. We want to give a big thank you to 782 Gear. Thank you so much, 782 Gear, for your support through Super Chat. And it says, this is Patriot Sparky 1833. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for your help and your support. I know that you share the live stream on Twitter all the time. So thank you for your help. We also have a new member. Welcome, Bo Hayes. Thank you so much for believing in Golden State Times, supporting the free press. Now, every single time, Bo, that you type in the chat or in the comment section of our videos, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press. We also have Cannabis Cuisine. Thank you so much for your help and your support, your continued help and your continued support. If it's legal in your state, I'm emphasizing that very much. If it's legal in your state, that's for you, YouTube. Cannabis Cuisine, go and check them out. Awesome recipes. So not only can you eat good, but feel awesome at the exact same time. What more can you ask for, right? You cook something delicious and it makes you feel good, even better. So go and check them out, Cannabis Cuisine, if it's legal in your state. All right, so thank you so much to Jane Wayne for your support through Super Chat. Also, Nosy Poke, thank you so much for your support through Super Chat. You are awesome. Thank you so much once again, Nosy Poke. And we also have Jane Wayne. Thank you so much for your support through Super Chat. Don't forget, folks, these Super Chats helps us live stream. The reason we have live streams on this channel is because of Patriots supporting us through Super Chat and through membership. So all of these live streams, press briefings, press conferences, Trump rallies coming in the near future, all of those are funded by Super Chats and memberships. So thank you so much for your help and your support. If you'd like to help out Golden State Times continue operation here on YouTube as a whole, Golden State Times means social media. Golden State Times means here on YouTube and also our website. So if you'd like to help us continue operation, the best way to help out the channel is by sharing the stream on social media and letting Patriots know about us. You know, just in casual conversation, be like, hey, have you heard of Golden State Times? They cover everything that has to do with politics. Check them out. Just like that, you helped out Golden State Times immensely. A lot. And the reason why we're still here is because of that. Is because Patriots are going out there, letting Patriots know about the channel, about our coverage, about our website. So thank you so much for your help and your support. We'll be back on the microphone in just a few moments to give more shout outs to everyone that is sharing the stream on Twitter. And also don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times. There's not much talking going on in the room today. That's interesting. We want to give a big thank you to Patricia Stevens. Thank you so much, Patricia, for your help and your support through Super Chat. We want to give a big thank you to Mimi White. Thank you so much, Mimi, for your support through Super Chat. One thing that I do have to emphasize, and I've been doing this, and I've been saying this for a while now, especially now with coronavirus, COVID, and stuff being shut down, please take care of yourselves first. Supporting the channel through membership and supporting the channel through Super Chat is a very good way for us to continue live streaming. But we want to make sure that you guys take care of yourselves first, take care of your family first. We want to make sure that we emphasize this because we don't want you guys to think that we are trying to make anyone, use Super Chat or use membership to help out the channel. If you can't do it through those means, through those ways, then that's 100% okay. Share the live stream. Put it on your Twitter. Put it on your Facebook. Put it on any of the groups on Facebook and Twitter and Gab. Tell Patriots about us. That's the best way to help us out. So thank you so much for your consideration. We would like to give a big thank you to AZ Finn. Let me know, does the AZ represent Arizona? I don't want to jump to conclusions here, but AZ Finn, thank you so much for your help and your support through Super Chat. That's another place that is a contender for President Trump's first rally after coronavirus. All right, sorry about that, folks. So I was going to say that Arizona is one of the top contenders for the first Trump rally after coronavirus that is going to happen. So who knows? It might be Florida, it might be Texas, or it might be the great state of Arizona. All right, folks. So thank you so much, Arizona Finn. So AZ Finn says, yes, AZ represents Arizona, the great state of Arizona. And AZ Finn says, where we go one, we go all. All right, folks, so I'm going to check the live stream to see if it's shadow banned yet. Usually the shadow banning starts towards the middle or right before it begins, but let's see. Yep, I knew it. I knew it. It's shadow banned. It wasn't like that a minute ago. So it just happened literally a few seconds ago. But that happens to every single of these live streams from now on for some reason. I want to give a big thank you to Equit. Thank you so much for your support through Super Chat. That helps us out immensely. Especially now that this live stream is shadow banned, every single one of them, and it doesn't matter how I write it or what title I give it, what description, what tags, it just gets instantly demonetized. The same thing was happening back when the State Department had Heather Nauert. If I was to stream anything with Heather Nauert's name on it, whether in the tags, description, title, it'll get instantly demonetized, which means that it's instantly blocked. It doesn't come up on search, doesn't come up on Patriot's feeds, it doesn't come up through notification. It's very hard to find it. It gets thrown to the bottom of the barrel and all of the fake news gets put up at the top. That's what happens when something gets what they call now limited. So they don't even call it demonetized anymore, because monetization doesn't really matter when it comes to live streams anyways. Because it gets demonetized, now it's called limited. That's what it's called now. And the reason why it's called limited now instead of demonetized is because of the word limited. It limits the outreach of the video. It limits the amount of people that are going to be able to see it. It doesn't come up on recommended. It doesn't come up on up next that you see sometimes when you finish watching a video. It says up next and it shows another video. It does not come up on there. Does not come up on search. So if you're wondering why the number is getting stuck of how many patriots are able to see this live stream, that's the reason why. Is because this live stream has been limited by YouTube. We want to give a big thank you to Q454. Thanks so much for your support. Also, Dirty Martini, thank you so much for your support sharing the stream. Wake Up and Smell the MAGA, thank you so much for sharing the live stream. Beth for Life, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Delilah Crane, thank you so much for sharing the stream. And Tara Woodruff, thank you so much, Tara, for sharing the stream. Tex Mom, God Wins, thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. We also want to give a big shout out to our new followers on Twitter at Gold State Times. We saw some new followers here. Here we go. We have Dan Gad, thank you so much for sharing the stream. And also for following us on Twitter. Denise, thank you so much, Denise, for following us on Twitter. Eric Martin, thank you so much for following us on Twitter. Jeshurun Rokeb, thank you so much for following us on Twitter. CNY Moderates, thank you so much for following us on Twitter. Delilah Crane and M, thanks so much, M, for following us on Twitter. We also have Ghost and Brother John. Thank you so much for following us on Twitter at Gold State Times. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times. Want to give a big thank you to Robert Gambino for sharing the stream. Also, DCDocumentReports.com. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream. We also have Let's Go Trump. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. And also Candy Kane. Thanks so much for sharing the live stream. Candy Kane. And we also have new followers here on Twitter at Gold State Times. We're going to be starting off with American Girl. Thanks so much for following us on Twitter. We also have Pete. Thanks so much, Pete, for following us on Twitter. Let's see one more time. Let's refresh right before they come out. Right before the press secretary comes out to see who is sharing the stream on social media. We're going to be starting off with Terry Hargrave. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Robert W. Darby. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Marianne. Thank you so much, Marianne, for sharing the stream. Anna Julia. And also, let's see here. We have Diomaze. I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Alita. Thank you so much, Alita, for sharing the stream. CNO Hacker. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also have Sifunami. Thank you so much, Sifunami, for sharing the stream. Freedom Rings. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also have John Holland sharing the stream. And Troy. Thank you so much, Troy. We have Blaine Curtis. Consecrate Russia. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Jason Baker and Jillian. Thanks so much, Jillian. We also have CD sharing the stream. Dakota. And we also have, let's see, Whitey the Third. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. Bobby Baxter for Trump. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. This is War. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. F Monty 112 and Amy Kaufman. Thanks so much, Amy Kaufman, for sharing the stream. Q sent me. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Little Rivers. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. Radioactive 38, Hurley Burley, and Taylor, 2 Drinks the Show. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. Delano Sally, Jeff Dahl Sr., and B. Morrow. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. Jerry P. Jones. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. And we also have Rosalind, Barry, Michael Shorts, Russell Sperry, Tom Nutter, and R.D. Gafford. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Marquita Ellie, Credulous Credulous Rube, Freedom, Sam B., and Ken. Thank you so much, Ken, for sharing the stream. We also have Judy Olson, Dan Gad, Own Your Suck, and we also have Gail Gray sharing the stream. Cannabis Cuisine, Jane Wayne, Tea Party Activist, 27 Sparkle, Lucy 1CA, TNT Boom 321. And I think that's it for now. All right, folks, thanks so much for sharing the stream. It should start very soon. All right, folks, so I'd like to give a big thank you to Fat Bob's Wood Company. Thank you so much for your help and your support through Super Chat. Thank you so much for your help and your support through Super Chat, folks, because it helps us out, especially now that they're limiting our live streams of these press briefings. And nobody else has that issue, just to let you guys know. Kind of sucks that we are the only ones. And for patriots that are wondering what we mean about limiting, is that YouTube has limited this live stream. If you go to it, you know, before it used to be an issue with demonetization. That's what it was called, right? Demonetization. Just ads don't run on this stream. Okay, you know, to us, fine. If they want to do that, okay, fine. If you don't want to put ads, if you stupid YouTube does not want to put ads on this live stream, that's okay with us, right? But the problem with this situation is that it's no longer an issue with ads being on the live stream or not. That's not the issue anymore, because now they changed it from demonetized to limited. And what it means is that they will limit the reach of the stream. It will not come up on search. It will not come up on recommended. It will not come up on people's feed. When you log into YouTube, it will not come up on your feed. That is the issue. That is the problem. Because that's called censorship. That is what that's called. There's nothing wrong with the title or the description or the tags of this video at all. The reason why they're demonetizing it is because of the name, Kayleigh McEnany. It triggers the left so much that they had blacklisted, YouTube has blacklisted the word, or the name, the name Kayleigh McEnany. Just like they did with Heather Nauert. They did the exact same thing. This isn't new. Back when we used to live stream Heather Nauert's press briefings from the State Department, it will get instantly demonetized. As soon as we made the live stream, boom, it was gone. That's what they used to do to Heather Nauert from the State Department. But now they're doing it to Kayleigh. So someone is asking in the chat, where's the hot mic? The hot mic is on. Believe me, the hot mic is on. They're just not talking. They're very quiet today. They're very quiet. Maybe are they just preparing themselves to be rude and disrespectful to the press secretary? It's kind of weird that they're so quiet and so calm today. Let's just see what happens when the press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, comes out in just a few moments. So here's a little known fact, folks. I don't know if anybody else has talked about this on any other network or here on YouTube or any other creator here on YouTube. If you guys think that the fake news reporters, the pundits, the bobbleheads, the airheads, the whatever you want to call them, the parasites, whatever you want to call these guys, if you guys think that these people are bad, you guys should meet their camera guys. You should meet their sound techs or the people that are on the field. Those guys are really bad. Those guys are extremely rude. They're just crazy, crazy people. But, if you guys thought these guys were rude and bad and just nasty, you guys should meet their camera guys and their photographers. Those guys are even worse. Well, from our experience, from what I've heard of a lot of our camera guys and stuff like that, they're really bad people. So who knows? So someone in the chat says maybe they're quiet because they know the hot mic is on. Well, now they need to know that we're not only holding government accountable for everything that they do, they promise, and they fail to do, but we're also keeping tabs on the media, making sure that they stay in line too, because they are not exempt. They're not immune to making sure that they know what they're doing is supposed to be good. So if we are going to keep tabs on government, we're also going to keep tabs on the media. It's only fair that both of them are held accountable for their actions, what they do and what they say. So we just wanted to let you guys know that's the reason why the hot mic is on. That's the reason why the hot mic exists. And we have caught some very interesting stuff on the hot mic. But we're keeping government accountable, and we're keeping the fake news media accountable for their actions. All right, folks, we'd like to give shout outs to new followers on Twitter. We have Rain Dancer. Thank you so much for following us on Twitter. We also have RD Gafford. Thank you so much for following us on Twitter at Gold State Times. Radioactive 38. Thank you so much for following us on Twitter. CD and TNT Boom 321. Thank you so much for following us on Twitter. Also, Macaroni Jack and Hingry Hippo, thank you so much for following us on Twitter. We're going to be checking to see if anybody is sharing the stream. And we're going to be starting off with, let's see, Arizona Roadrunner. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. Cyril Talk, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Nationalist Fence Post, Catherine, and Rain Dancer, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Sherry, Living in America, and Arizona Submariner, thanks so much for sharing the stream. J.R. Gafford, Teresa Upchurch, and Box of Frogs, thank you so much for sharing the stream. William Harrison, Judy Mays, Lovin' It 57, Sergio. Oh, wait, Sergio. Thanks so much, Sergio, for sharing the stream. Maybe we can get that guy's big head out of the way. We also like to give a big thank you to Sparky and Bunko. Thanks so much, Bunko, for sharing the stream. Also, Pops. Thanks so much, Pops, for sharing the stream. And Bob K. All right, folks. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. And also, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. All right, folks. So if you're new to the channel, let us just tell you a little bit about what we do. We cover everything from the White House, from the State Department, the Pentagon, and Congress. We cover President Trump's rallies, speeches, press conferences, pressers, chopper gaggles, and everything else in between. We also cover White House press briefings with the hot mic, and we also cover White House events with a hot mic. We're basically the only YouTube news channel that has the hot mic, and we catch very interesting stuff. So if you're looking for a network that covers the president fairly and completely, 365, 24/7, then look no more. Click that subscribe button and that notification bell. Don't forget the bell. And make sure you click the thumbs up button and you share this live stream on social media. All right, folks, we're getting a little bit of an update to see how much longer until White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany comes out. We'll keep you guys updated in just a few moments. Oh, we would like to welcome a new member. We would like to welcome Ruby Blackwell. Thanks so much, Ruby, for your support, becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Now, every single time that you type in the chat or in the comment section of our videos, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press. Also, make sure you can check out our custom emojis. Our custom emojis are for our members. Our members are the reason why we live stream. We can't live stream without the help of our members and everyone that supports us through Super Chat. But we cannot continue operation here on YouTube without your help by sharing the stream. Sharing the stream is 100% free, hassle-free. All you have to do is just click the share button or copy and paste the link of this live stream onto your social media profile. Whichever social media you have, Facebook, Gab, Reddit, Parler, whichever one you have, share it on there. Helps out the channel. All right, folks, 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. Here we go. 2-minute warning. All right, folks, so we'd like to welcome a new member. We have Kathy Carney. Thank you so much, Kathy, for your support, believing in Golden State Times and supporting the free press. Now, every single time that you type in the chat, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press. Also, make sure to check out our custom emojis by clicking the little happy face in the chat. At the very top are all the custom emojis for members. Thanks so much, folks. We'll also like to give a big shout out to April Louise W. Thank you so much for your support through Super Chat. It helps us out immensely. Thank you so much for your help and your support. Here we go, folks. She is on her way in. Here we go.
So I'm sorry we are very late, you guys. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I was working with the president on something, and he wanted me to hand this out to you all, and I have it here, so I want to read it to the American public directly from the president. It has been suggested that we should rename as many as 10 of our legendary military bases, such as Fort Bragg in North Carolina, Fort Hood in Texas, Fort Benning in Georgia, and the list goes on. These monumental and very powerful bases have become part of a great American heritage and a history of winning, victory, and freedom. The United States of America trained and deployed our heroes here and won 2 world wars. Therefore, my administration will not even consider the renaming of these magnificent and fabled military installations. Our history as the greatest nation in the world will not be tampered with. Respect our military. So that was directly from the president. We spent some time working on that, and I wanted to deliver that to you. Also, I wanted to take us through a few other things relating to the coronavirus. First, the coronavirus task force briefing was held yesterday. I was in it, and there was some very good news that I'd like to share with you. I don't know if you all saw, there were 2 studies that came out, very strong studies in the journal Nature. And in Europe, which had a very similar epidemic profile to the United States, 3.1 million lives were saved due to mitigation and the efforts taken by the European governments. And as Dr. Birx noted to me, she sent this to me just before I walked out here, she said it suggests that the United States also prevented over 3 million deaths, thanks to the efforts of President Trump and the American people. Another study found that the shutdown efforts prevented 50 million additional coronavirus cases. So those are 2 very encouraging studies underscoring the work of the American people. Also, the Washington Post noted that these 2 reports use completely different methods to reach similar conclusions. They suggest that the aggressive and unprecedented shutdowns were effective at halting the exponential spread of the novel coronavirus. So thank you, Washington Post, for that good reporting. The Department of Agriculture, Secretary Sonny Perdue, also had some very good news in the task force briefing I was at yesterday. America's meatpacking facilities, at one time it looked like they were going to need to close. That was unacceptable to the administration. So we took action. The coronavirus task force took action. And now I'm pleased to report that these meatpacking facilities are operating at 95% capacity compared to 2019. We have beef operating at 98% capacity, pork at 95%, and poultry at 98%. Throughout America's extraordinary efforts to slow the spread, President Trump ensured that the meat supply chain stayed functional and robust by directing these meatpacking facilities to safely operate in accordance with the CDC and OSHA guidelines. His efforts secured America's continual access to a steady food supply chain. And then finally, and very importantly, I have some great data points to share on coronavirus testing capacity in minority communities. Admiral Brett Joie shared this with me yesterday and last night as well. He said that when we look at testing sites, President Trump's public-private partnership with retail companies has proven quite successful. Testing sites are operating in 49 states, with 70% of these sites located in communities with moderate to high social vulnerabilities. And social vulnerability takes takes into account race, ethnicity, housing and economics, language barriers, and other factors. Also, federally qualified health centers, their FQHCs, serve 29 million patients in 12,000 communities across the nation. They provide care to 1 in 5 of those uninsured, 1 in 5 of rural Americans, 1 in 3 of individuals below the poverty line, and more than 1.3 million homeless men and women, and nearly 1 million migrant agricultural workers. And 92% of these FQHCs now offer COVID tests, and we've awarded them $583 million to 1,385 of these facilities. And finally, I promised my last announcement. The HHS Office of Minority Health issued a competitive funding opportunity to build a strategic network of national, state, territory, tribal, local, and community-based organizations that deliver vital health information and support linkages to services for racial and ethnic minorities. And this announcement, this network is scheduled to be awarded at the end of June and is expected to reach at least 40 million individuals from racial and ethnic minorities. These updates, I was told by Brett Joie, were received very well at the Senate hearings. And we thank the Vice President, Mike Pence, for doing an amazing job leading our coronavirus task force, and to President Trump, who has led in bringing America through the coronavirus pandemic. And with that, I'll take questions. Kristen.
Kayleigh, thank you so much. Does the president regret tweeting out a baseless conspiracy theory about a 75-year-old protester on the morning of George Floyd's funeral?
The president was asking questions about an interaction in a video clip he saw, and the president has the right to ask those questions.
But does he regret tweeting out this protester was assaulted?
The president does not regret standing up for law enforcement men and women across this country. And let me say this, and just give you a little bit about the mindset behind the president's tweet. Look, we're living in a moment that is, it seems to be reflexively anti-police officer. And it's unacceptable to the president. In this tweet that he sent out, he was in no way condoning violence. He was not passing judgment on these two officers in particular. But what he was saying is this: when we see a brief snippet of a video, it's incumbent upon reporters and those who are surveying the situation to ask questions. Rather,
upon the president to have facts before he tweets anything out. He's the president of the United States.
the president did have facts before he tweeted it out that undergirded his questions.
Baseless conspiracy theory. Do
It's
you
not a
acknowledge
baseless
that?
conspiracy. No, not at all. I won't acknowledge that because look, let's contrast this to the George Floyd situation, which that horrific video that we all saw. Every single police officer that I saw across the country came out and said, this is an inexcusable action, and I condemn this police officer. In this case, there were 57 police officers who said, I resign in protest over the way these two officers were handled. And the president says, those law enforcement officers have a right to be heard.
But does the president
John.
think that anything justifies that 75-year-old man being pushed down to the ground like we all saw?
The
in
president
video?
does not condone violence. He wants to see the appropriate amount of police force used in any given situation, including this one, but he believes that the officers have a right to be
And very
heard.
quickly, George Floyd's brother is here testifying. Has the White House invited him here to meet with the president?
The president has repeatedly acknowledged George Floyd, his passing, the egregiousness of that atrocity, and has called the family by phone, as he did last week. Yes.
The president has got an event tomorrow in Dallas at a church in which he'll meet with faith leaders. He'll also meet with law enforcement officials, small business owners. The theme is a plan for holistic revitalization and recovery. Will the president be announcing any policy in regards to police reform tomorrow, and what might that policy form?
Yeah, so that's a very important question. And as it stands currently, the president has spent the last 10 days quietly and diligently working on proposals to address the issues that the protesters have raised across the country, legitimate issues. And that body of work, I'm told, is reaching its final edits, and we hope to produce it for you in the coming days. I can't promise you it's tomorrow, but in the coming days, we look to deliver that.
So what then will tomorrow be about? Will it be a listening session as he had on Monday with law enforcement, or might there actually be some concrete policy proposals?
Yeah, it will be a round.
It could at least be done at the executive level.
It will be a roundtable, much like what you saw with law enforcement officers earlier in the week.
And if I could just stay on that theme for a second, in terms of reform ideas that the president could support, Democrats have floated some in the House. Senate Republicans, led by Tim Scott, are working on others, things like banning chokeholds, banning no-knock warrants, independent process to investigate misconduct. Could the president support issues like that?
So again, don't want to get ahead of the announcements. What I would say is each issue is being looked at as to what would make a difference. Everything that you've suggested has certain ramifications, so he has to look at each of these in great detail as he's done over the last few days. And I would just note one thing that AG Barr said was that in the Democrat bill, they talked about needing to reduce immunity to go after bad cops, but that would result in police pulling back. So that is one thing that is a non-starter.
So what is that? It's called qualified immunity.
Yes.
Is that a red line for the president?
That's a non-starter in the Democrat legislation. Yes, John?
Does the president believe there's a problem with institutional racism in this country and institutional racism in law enforcement?
Look, I've answered this question. I think this is the fourth time I've been asked it, and I've said each and every time, there are injustices that we have seen. Clearly, that tape of George Floyd was inexcusable, gut-wrenching, difficult to watch, and it was really a beautiful funeral yesterday, all the great testimonies to his life. We recognize those injustices. Sandra Bland, another example. But this president knows fundamentally that most police officers in this country are good, that the 750 men and women that have been injured, that David Dorn, the police officer who was killed, and Patrick Underwood, the law enforcement officer who was killed, are emblematic of what police in this country stand for. That is the best, that is the brightest, and that is our domestic heroes. Yes.
The reason why I'm asking it now is, does he believe that action needs to be taken to fundamentally change the way law enforcement is done in this country, to make fundamental changes so that there isn't the kind of disparities that we see along racial lines?
Well, the president's looking at various proposals, and I would say this president has done a whole lot more than Democrats have ever done when it comes to rectifying injustices. Where you had the crime bill of the 90s, which created great racial disparities in our justice system, and President Trump rectified some of those with the First Step Act. So President Trump's about action, and he's shown that, and he recognizes injustices and acts promptly when he sees them. Yes.
Thanks, Kayleigh. Does the President agree with the recent announcements from the Marines and Navy about their policies banning the display of the Confederate flag?
So I haven't spoken to him on that specific one. He does, as I noted at the top of this briefing, fervently stand against the renaming of our forts, these great American fortresses where literally some of these men and women who lost their lives as they went out to Europe and Afghanistan and Iraq and all across this world to win world wars on behalf of freedom. A lot of times the very last place they saw was one of these forts. And to suggest that these forts were somehow inherently racist and their names need to be changed is a complete disrespect to the men and women who the last bit of American land they saw before they went overseas and lost their lives were these forts.
Just one follow-up.
Yes, Jeff.
So an ex-judge appointed to review the Flynn case said the Justice Department has engaged in highly irregular conduct to benefit a political ally of the president, and he urged the presiding judge in the case to deny an attempt by the government to dismiss the charges. What is the White House reaction?
That's the first I'm hearing of that. I'd point you to DOJ on that. Jeff.
Thanks, Kayleigh. Congressional Republicans, including Congresswoman Liz Cheney, have criticized the president's decision to reduce the number of U.S. troops in Germany. Some saying that it will embolden Russia if the United States does that. Did the president make that decision to punish Chancellor Merkel for deciding not to come to the G7 in June?
Look, I have no announcements on that front, and he never makes decisions to punish certain world leaders. He acts in the best interest of the United States.
Just
yes.
to follow up on another issue on Kristen's with regard to the tweet. One of the things that the president said in his tweet was that the gentleman fell harder than he was pushed. How does that work in terms of physics?
Look, the president raised several questions based on a report he saw. He has a right to ask those questions, and where he stands is squarely with law enforcement. He was making no judgments, not condoning violence, not saying what happened in this case with these two officers was right or wrong, but he's standing back and saying we need to ask questions before we destroy lives and convict people in the court of public opinion. Yes.
Thanks, Kayleigh. Two questions on the economy. First of all, both the chair of the Federal Reserve and Steve Mnuchin said today the U.S. will definitely need another round of stimulus. How urgent is that for the president? I mean, how soon do we expect him to meet with Democrats to discuss the next legislation?
Yeah, it's a good question. He met on a potential Phase 4 policy last week. It was a very promising discussion with his economic advisors. So that's in the works as to when and if we see that, but it is a topic of discussion. He was encouraged by the jobs report. We were supposed to lose 7.5 million jobs. We ended up gaining 2.5 million, a swing by 10 million. It was described to me as one of the, by one famed economist, as one of the worst miscalculations of economists in history, to be off by 10 million. That's the size of Michigan. So the president's encouraged, because what we're seeing is a belief in the Trump economy and the Trump presidency. What we're seeing is the market soar. We're seeing the S&P have its best 50-day track record in history because they believe in a president that has free market policies that got us to the hottest economy in modern history and will get us there again. Yes.
On that, the Federal Reserve today offered a pretty grim economic outlook, saying unemployment is going to be elevated for years. And also this week, we heard from the National Bureau of Economics research saying that the U.S. officially entered a recession. What is the White House response to that?
We believe that next month's jobs report will be robust. The president has been clear that Q4, he expects Q3 to be a transition period, Q4 to be robust, and next year to be a very hot year. And I would note that those in the prediction business, they were off by 10 million. That's not too good. So I'd go back and look at some of the models that were off and how extraordinary the jobs report was last time, including 300,000 new jobs for Black Americans. Yes.
Thank you so much. The president met with Mitch McConnell today, we understand. Can you kind of fill us in on what that discussion was about? Any updates?
So I have no announcements on that front. Those were his private meetings, so no announcements out of that.
Can I just add to Jonathan's question? You know, a lot of people are concerned that there is, you mentioned justice disparities. There's a lot of concern of some Americans that police officers treat Black individuals and people of color differently than white individuals. Does the president share those specific concerns?
Here's what he's concerned about. He's concerned about what and I've told you he's addressed injustices with Sandra Bland and George Floyd and has repeatedly acknowledged that. But here is, in addition to that, his concern, put very well by New York's Police Benevolent Association President Mike O'Meara. Our legislators are failing us. Our press is vilifying us. He's saying us as police officers, stop treating us like animals and thugs. We've been vilified, and it's disgusting. When you have a sitting congressman, Ilhan Omar, calling cops cancer, what do you think that leads to? The AP reported on a shooting in front of a police department today in California. Let's stop vilifying our officers. Let's recognize injustice where we see it, but recognize all of us in here are safe because of our police officers doing their job each and every day.
I understand that, but there are concerns among many Americans that people of color are not treated the same by police, and that is what many of the protests have been about. Does the president share those specific concerns?
The president believes most of our police officers are good, hardworking men and women, like David Dorn, who was killed among these riots, like Patrick Underwood, who was killed among these riots. Those are our police officers. They are our best. They are our brightest. They're absolute places of injustice. We're addressing those. We're looking at legislative proposals and EOs, and what ultimately is determined, we'll see in the coming days as to what will work as a policy prescription. But stop vilifying our officers, because they deserve better than that. They're out there. They're working hard. 750 injured just in the last week and a half, and we need to recognize that. Yes.
Back on the Buffalo protester, is the president disappointed that more Republicans have not lined up to support the questions he asked, to use your characterization of it, which many people also characterize it as a conspiracy theory? And secondly, has the president reached out either to the injured gentleman or to the police officers involved?
So first of all, President Trump, I would say, he's not focused on what Republicans are saying or not saying on the Hill. He's focused on making changes. As I said, he's been diligently hard at work the last 10 days, and that is where his focus squarely lies at the moment. Yes.
Thanks, Kayleigh. And has he reached out to either the gentleman or the...
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Did you consider it?
Not that I'm aware of. Hello.
Thanks,
Yes.
Kayleigh. You started this briefing reading off some statistics about success of mitigation efforts on the spread of COVID, but we're now seeing a spike in cases in more than a dozen states and increased hospitalizations in a lot of those as well. So, and many public health experts attribute these spikes to Memorial Day weekend gatherings and other aspects of the reopening process before these mass protests. So why is President Trump continuing to urge reopening given this trend, and should we be slowing down a little bit on the reopening process as we see cases spike?
First, let me know as it pertains to Memorial Day. A week ago today, the Vice President's team told me I wasn't in task force that day, but that it was said that in fact that there was no linkage to Memorial Day as being some point of spurring wild outbreaks and rises across the nation. What I would say though, I talked to Dr. Birx and she said what we've seen is that in general, April averaged out to be about 30,000 cases a day. May was about 25,000 cases a day. Currently, we're at around 20,000 cases a day. And you've got to look in a nuanced way at each of these states. Like, for instance, Texas is one of the places where they're saying we're seeing a steady slope, not a huge rise, but part of it's in due to the fact that they're testing in long-term care facilities and in prisons, and the more testing you do, the more cases you identify.
Can I ask a follow-up? President Trump is planning to restart campaign rallies within the next few weeks. What sort of precautions is he going to be taking at his rallies for the safety of the rally-goers?
So we have no rallies announced just yet. You're right about the 2-week timeline that was put forward. But we will ensure that everyone who goes is safe, but no specific announcements on that front. And I would direct you to the campaign for more information on that. Yes.
Yes. Thanks for taking my question. Owen Jensen with EWTN News. We've seen thousands of people in the streets protesting, exercising their constitutional right. Those, of course, doing it peacefully. At the same time, churches in many cases told to limit their gatherings, in some cases to 10 or no more. Does the president see a double standard there, constitutionally speaking? And if can you explain, please?
There are absolute double standards that we've seen, and that's why the Justice Department set up a task force, if you will, or a group to look at civil liberties as during coronavirus shutdowns. I read about one case where you had an allowance of outside gathering and protest, but indoor churches could not gather, even with socially distanced protocols. He absolutely sees an issue. There have been several cases pointed to where people attending church in their cars were targeted by law enforcement officers. So that's unacceptable. People should be allowed to worship. We have a First Amendment in this country. There's a way to safely do it. I went to Mass and was able to safely attend distance from people, and there were appropriate protocols that were taken in that case, and that's what we hope to see, as the president made eminently clear a few weeks ago.
Not too long ago, he asked for all churches to reopen. Is he happy with the progress or no?
He's happy with the progress. I've seen, in fact, that very week, a church that I visited reopened, a church down the road from me. So I think he gave a lot of courage to the faith community to reopen, to do so safely. And look, here we are, I think 4 weeks later, and we haven't been hearing about rampant outbreaks in places of worship. The First Amendment's a beautiful thing. People have a right to go to church or mosque or synagogue. Yes.
Yes. Hi, Kelly. Thanks. Still on COVID, the president seems pretty unconcerned so far about November and the COVID situation, whether people are going to be afraid to go to the polls or whether there's going to be a lot of delays because of the COVID. He recently said it's a long way off, I think meaning that the pandemic will have died down by then, essentially. But given that it hasn't actually gone away, people are obviously still dying every day and there are some spikes, and it's not that far away, 5 months. Are any measures being taken at all to guarantee that this election is going to go smoothly and everyone who wants to vote can vote?
Yeah, well, I've not seen much criticism of the protest and socially distanced and mitigation efforts. I think there's a way to safely vote if you can safely protest, and that's what the president would like to see. There's a way to safely vote. There's a way to safely go to church, and you're asking a hypothetical about something 5 months from now at a time, ironically, when the media hasn't expressed much outrage about a lack of mitigation efforts taken by some of the protesters. Raquel.
Thank you so much, Kayleigh. Two questions. First, is the president concerned the protests could lead to another outbreak of coronavirus? And a second question, President Trump said that he does not believe the death toll in coronavirus cases figures from some countries. Does he trust the figure from Brazil? Is the White House concerned that the Brazilian government is hiding information about COVID-19?
So I haven't spoken to him about the Brazil numbers, but I have heard him on several cases, probably at least 5, mention that he'd seen what's going on in Brazil, and he was hurt to see how many people have been affected by COVID down there. So he has mentioned Brazil specifically. I believe he even sent some ventilators to Brazil because we had such an overflow of ventilators here because America really, under the leadership of President Trump, snapped into action and shored up what was supposed to be a ventilator shortage. And delivered, this administration delivered. So I would just note that he's mentioned great concern for the people of Brazil.
Kayleigh, just the first question that I asked, is the president concerned the protests could lead to another outbreak of coronavirus?
Now we're monitoring that. Right now we're encouraged to see that cases have declined month over month, but the vice president, as I walked out here, said the task force is well aware and monitoring individual situations in particular states. Niels.
Kayleigh, thank you. Going back to where you started with the statement about renaming the military bases, if Congress were to send over, say, the defense authorization with language that were to rename one of these bases for someone who, say, was a general who won the Civil War, would the president veto the defense authorization?
The president will not be signing legislation that renames America's forts. It's important to note, Fort Bragg, for example, it's one of the largest military installations. It's home to tens of thousands of brave American soldiers. And when you think of Fort Bragg, we think of the brave soldiers that deployed from there. We think of all 5 World War II airborne divisions, the 82nd, the 101st, the 11th, the 13th, and the 17th, all trained at Fort Bragg. The 555th Parachute Infantry Battalion, this was the first black parachute battalion trained at this fort. We must recognize the sacrifices made by these men and women, some of whom saw Fort Bragg for the last time before they went overseas. We've got to think of the Fort Bragg soldiers that have led humanitarian operations like in Hurricane Katrina and the earthquake in Haiti. We've got to honor what has happened there, not rename it. So that is an absolute non-starter for the president. And I would also note...
One more question on that.
Yeah, John.
One more question on that. General David Petraeus is one of those people who went through Fort Bragg a number of times, even though his first command was at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He penned a quite lengthy and detailed editorial about the reasons why those bases should be renamed, saying it's ironic that American soldiers and Marines are being trained at bases named for people who fought against the Union back in the Civil War, that many of the people for whom these bases are named were leaders held in questionable regard, but who were elevated during the Lost Cause movement. He goes on to say, we do not live in a country to which Braxton Bragg, Henry L. Bang, or Robert E. Lee can serve as an inspiration. What does the White House say to that particular point of view?
Fort Bragg is known for the heroes within it that trained there, that deployed from there, and it's an insult to say to the men and women who left there the last thing they saw on American soil before going overseas, and in some cases losing their lives, to tell them that what they left was inherently a racist institution because of a name. That's unacceptable to the president, and rightfully so. And I would also note, where do you draw the line here? I'm told that no longer can you find on HBO Gone with the Wind because somehow that is now offensive. Where do you draw the line? Should George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and James Madison be erased from history? What about FDR and because of internment camps? Should he be erased from history, or Lyndon Johnson, who has a history of documented racist statements? And finally, what about people that are alleged by the media to be segregationists? NBC tells us Joe Biden didn't just compromise with segregationists, he fought for their causes in schools, experts say. CNN tells us letters from Joe Biden reveal how he sought support of segregationists in the fight against busing. And Washington Post tells us that Biden's tough talk on 1970 schools desegregation plans could get him new scrutiny. And there are several more where that came from. So I'll leave you with the question, should we then rename the Biden Welcome Center? Thanks very much, guys.
One more on George Floyd, Kayleigh.
One quick follow-up on...
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice here at Golden State Times. If you're new to the channel, we encourage you to subscribe and click that notification bell. There's going to be tons of updates regarding news later on today, so make sure you check in on our website, goldenstatetimes.com. Again, that's www.goldenstatetimes.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times, and we hope that if you are new to the channel, that you subscribe and you click that bell. All right, folks, if you guys missed the White House press briefing, we are uploading it onto the channel right now. So in case you missed it, we are uploading it onto the channel right now. Thank you so much for being the best part of Golden State Times. Once again, if you're new to the channel, we encourage you to subscribe. And we also give a big thank you to Brad G. Thank you so much, Brad G, for your support through Super Chat. All of those Super Chats helps us continue live streaming here on YouTube. All right, so right now there's still 2,000 patrons. That's good. Okay, so I wanted to announce something. So we are in the process of getting Trump hats officially from the Trump campaign. We got them from the Trump campaign. So they're the official Trump hats, not the cheap ones that you see that they're selling at Trump rallies, outside of Trump rallies and stuff like that. None of those things. The actual official ones from the campaign. So we're going to receive some new Trump hats. So we're going to be doing giveaways, Trump hat giveaways, right before the Trump rallies are set to begin. So make sure you follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times for more information on those giveaways that we are going to be doing on social media and our website. On our website and also on social media, we're going to be giving out Trump hats, official ones from the campaign. So stay tuned for that information. Follow us on Twitter for more updates on that. When the giveaway is going to begin and when it's going to end, information on how to sign up, how to enter that giveaway. All that information is going to be on Twitter at Gold State Times. Hopefully you guys get your Trump hats before the Trump rallies are set to begin. And so make sure you follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times for more information. All right, folks, so if you missed the press secretary's Q&A with reporters, it is uploaded onto the channel right now. I'm going to put the link to it in the chat, so make sure you guys go and check it out. Give it a thumbs up and all that good stuff. So I am going to be putting the link to it in the chat so you guys can go and check it out. Thank you so much for being the best part of Golden State Times. And I am putting it in the chat right now. That way you guys can go and check it out. Give it a thumbs up and share it on social media. It will help us out immensely. So here we go. All right, so just click on the link if you missed it, or even if you didn't miss it, just click on the link and it'll take you to the video. Give it a thumbs up and share it on social media. Also, let me know if you guys got notified for that upload. Let me know in the chat if you guys got notified. But if you missed the Q&A with the fake news, as the press secretary always leaves them completely speechless. It's funny, it's hilarious to see that, how she just leaves the room and they're like completely speechless. Usually they're screaming or screaming questions or anything like that, but she always comes out and exposes them to their face, which is really good.